So in the last video, we had a quick overview of what Smart Notebook is and how it is that engaging piece of software that I can move these objects around. We even looked at an example here of actually I can move those coins whilst writing, and that can happen at the same time for my learners as well. If I do that properly, and then kind of 10p, and then move that one on there as well. So that finger being a finger, that pen being a pen, and I've got that natural movement for any of these examples that I'm giving here. So just diving into a little bit more detail, we're kind of going to look at a few extra bits and pieces here. What is in Smart Notebook? So last time we looked at the gallery itself here and these ready-made resources, but actually if you scroll up to the top, you'll notice there's a My Content section. So within My Content, it enables you to have your own objects and own resources on here as well. And I can copy and paste these and use these for myself anytime that I need them. So if it is something like that number line, I can bring that and save that straight in there. And that's just simply by copying and pasting it. Let's just bring this one here, copying it from online, drag that one across the side here, and then you can see I've got an example of that. So these can be any objects that you need to use in your classroom all the time. Things like number lines, cubes, counters. What else have I got in here? Number lines, cubes themselves. So these ones I can be bringing in and using those anytime within my classroom. These cubes here, looking at that infinite cloning, click on that one, click on infinitely clone, and then actually I can use those cubes to build those up here. Again, I can practically show that, and then that is modeled for everyone, rather than maybe having to kind of balance these on an arm whilst kind of speaking to all the students. A really great way of showing that straight from in here as well. Again, a digital way of doing it, not replacing the physical, just adding to it, enhancing it using that one there as well. So those objects I've saved within my gallery into My Content. And of course, you can have different folders within your own My Content as well. And then down here, if I want to share them with other members of staff, I can click Export Collection File. That will then take that as a file. I can then save that anywhere, share that with others so they can use that content as well. All inside the gallery there. Click on a new page. What else have we got in Smart Notebook? So last time we had a quick look at the pens. There's loads of different ones here as well. And of course, at the top here, I can add in text or different shapes, and those are available to me right at the top there. But if I want to begin to personalize these, this is when I come across here to the personalization tab. I click on that and I can see that my pen, I can change to be what I want it to be. So rather than this fat red one with an arrow at the end, with a square at the end, maybe I want to change that one to a kind of a pinky lilac color. And rather than a point at the end, I want a line at the end, like an arrowhead. And let's make it slightly thinner. Make sure you click save. And now you can see that that one has changed. So now when I've got it, I'm always going to start with a point. So if you're going kind of areas on a map or something, then that is naturally going to be a pointy bit at the end. And of course, you can customize these however way you want to. Same with fonts. Again, you can see this menu here, this settings menu here, these preset, this adapts to as you want it. So for whatever font you're going to be needing, you can change that and have your default fonts. Top left one is going to be your default font. So if you're using a font in your classroom regularly, then make sure they change that top one to the right size. 28 I found to be quite a good size for my classroom. And then you can change those bits and pieces up on here. Scroll down, click on save, and you can save those changes. Smart Notebook will pick up on any fonts that are in your on your computer. So any of them here, I can then pick up all the fonts that I've got on my computer, other ones that I've added, and then I can use those as a default or a change to up on the top here as well. Other ways of customizing that top menu bar can be found at the top here. The firstly, I might want it at the top, or now it's at the bottom, just with that arrow down there. Or of course, by clicking on the cog itself, brings up this menu here. So if I do want to add anything to it, like I might want quick access to a calligraphic pen all the time, I can bring that one in, and now I've got quick access to that calligraphic pen right at the top, or different add-ons at the top there or here. One thing I will just point out is this screen capture one. This screen capture tool is a great one. It's a bit like your snipping tool, but it will work over everything, and then you can snip that object and bring it straight into Smart Notebook, and then you can use that and manipulate those images that you've snipped and be brought straight in. So now you're beginning to build up your lesson. You've kind of got your own gallery that you've copied and pasted some bits and cross. You've got lots of different pens and using things like that. But a great other thing about Smart Notebook is actually you can use those existing resources that you've got. So if there are any old Smart Notebook files, again, you can completely open in the latest version of the Smart Notebook. Smart Notebook is updated annually, so just check over the kind of the summer, the kind of January, sorry, the June, July period. There will probably be an update just to get that on the latest version. And what you'll find here is that means you can then bring in all of your old files as well, your notebook files. I can actually import anything else as well. It's not, don't need to save that. So here, if you're wanting to bring in PowerPoints, if you're wanting to bring in PDFs, if you're wanting to bring in flip charts, anything else from in here, I can then just bring them straight into it. It will ask you in two different ways. So if I just bring in, to show you as a beginning of an example, that's already new, so I won't use that one. It will give you two options. If you're bringing it in as images, then that'll be an editable page. So you'll have your background, your text, your images, all different manipulatables. Or of course, you want to bring it in as just a blank object, then that'll just be a blank page as well. I won't do it, but there you can see the type of it. That's what I've done with this one. This one's just a PowerPoint beforehand, and it now gives me the option, actually, I can move these objects around. If it's text, I can double tap on it, and I can go and edit that text, change it to however I want to from there as well. So a great way of bringing that interactivity, that engagement to any of your files as well. So we've looked at pens, we looked at resources at the top here. In the last video, we looked at using different manipulatables here with the maths and the measuring tools. So it might be the protractor. You've obviously got a ruler there as well. I can use that on anything. You've got a screen shade at the top here. So it'll just help you to hide different things. And obviously, if you click on it, it does change color as well from there. So lots of different great ways to get you engaged, the student engaged, all within your notebook lesson itself here as well. There is loads more to kind of play and to explore within it, but that's just a few to kind of really get you started for it. If you click on Help and Smart Notebook Training, that are some great ways to learn more about Smart Notebook, either learning everything, all the features at once, or getting started guide, or just what do these buttons do, and have a bit of an explore around there. So Help, Smart Notebook Training, that's available at the top there as well. That's the check for updates if you do want to do that as well. So just to kind of finish it on here, if I click on File, I can then save this lesson as well. So if I then go to save this lesson, what you'll notice is that it saves like you would save any other file. So then I can save that to my OneDrive, to my Google Drive, anywhere in my on my computer itself, and then anyone can use that, and I can share that as a file type, and then they can download that, and then they can open it on their Windows or their Mac device itself as well. If you're wanting to share it with students who don't have access to Smart Notebook on their device, I can also export it as a PDF or a PowerPoint, or as just as pictures if you wish, and then share it that way. So lots of great ways within Smart Notebook to be engaging, to be really hands-on with the learning and doing, not just viewing something of that content as well. So make sure you've got that latest version, have a play with it, see some different bits and pieces, and have a bit of explore within Notebook, and really get that engagement and get that active learning in your classroom as well. Hope that helps. Have a good fun exploring, and speak to you all soon. Thanks. Bye.